Hello, English 101 students. This is your professor, Michael Bloomingberg. Hope your week is off to a great start. I just wanted to touch base with this week 4 video. Of course, this is the second week of module number 2, the fourth week overall. And this week is pretty pivotal because you are being introduced to the first essay assignment of the semester. Now, please bear in mind that due dates are not something I typically discuss in the videos since they can change from one semester to the next. So I encourage you to always note that you should refer to your own due dates. And for the pre-writing strategies, those are going to be due this upcoming Sunday. But again, the date will actually change depending on semester. So I'm already in Blackboard and I have the week 4 folder pulled up. And I have a couple of videos set up already that I think you'll find helpful. The first video, and I'm kind of playing with fire because I'm probably going to get some ads here, but that's okay. Yeah, I am going to get some ads. But anyways, the video, you can see, and feel free to pull this up as you go along, but it's about how to write a killer thesis statement. And thesis statement, of course, is the main idea that you're looking to convey in any given essay. So check that out. I think you'll find the video helpful. It's not very long. It's a little more than 5 minutes. And again, it's not my video, but it will cut to the core of what you're trying to do in crafting a strong thesis statement. Also not my video is one by Melissa Weller, which is called Prewriting. And when you click on that one, again, it'll load into YouTube. And Dr. Weller is out of Central Penn College, and she has crafted a very good video with corresponding PowerPoint. Again, I don't have it in the learning environment because it's not mine, but check it out because she goes over different pre-writing techniques. And so in the video, she gives you some successful tips for note taking, what the pre-writing strategies are all about. And then she does take some time to walk you through what some of them are, including brainstorming, free writing, which is actually one of my favorite strategies because it helps to overcome writer's block and that extra level of anxiety. And she gives examples for what they are and sort of how they work in practice. Now, for your 2 strategies that are due this week, I don't really expect you to take longer than 10 minutes to do them. But you can see the examples and you're just choosing 2 from the video to work through your strategies. So please don't get confused. I'm not looking for you to share with me which 2 strategies you would use. I'm actually looking for you to do the strategies for the essay assignment sheet, just so you're clear. I'll mention that in the instructions in the announcement that I send out for week 4. Finally, we have the assignment sheet. So let's click on that and we'll take a look at that together. And I'm just going to blow this up so we can see it a little bit better. Now you have some due dates that I'm not going to get into specifically because they might change from one semester to the next. But please note your essay is not due this week. The rough draft is going to be due Wednesday of next week, and the final draft is going to be due even further past that. But for this essay, your job is to inform an uninformed audience about a culture in which you belong. Now, in the essay, you will define unfamiliar terms or concepts, describe your traditions and customs, and if pertinent, explain any processes or steps involved in a ritual or ceremony. Skills are listed that we're going to use to hopefully help you communicate effectively, to think critically in order to solve problems, you can create new ideas and solutions, and to demonstrate evidence of applied and integrated learning. And the knowledge is also listed that you're going to utilize to best meet those skills. Those are objectives that come from our course syllabus that we're always striving to complete. Tasks. So you should first of all understand the importance of culture. It's generally defined as the traditions, art, religious beliefs, customs, and language of a particular group. So one way you could think about that is if you go back to last week and the Milgram experiments, you'll notice in the 2020 update to the experiments, Dr. Barger at Santa Clara University mentions collectivist cultures and how certain cultures can impact obedience to authority in the experiment. And so a lot of times that is impacted through your ethnic background. So that is one way you can consider if you're Irish American, Mexican American, African American, or maybe if you're even if you're not originally from the United States, that sort of thing. Now you can also feel free to explore other opportunities to view your culture. And geography is a great way to think about it because living in Appalachian and Eastern Kentucky, our culture is very rich. We have our own ways of saying things and doing things. And if you don't think we have our own language or terminology, I always encourage you to go to New York City and try explaining that you were born in a holler or you have a friend that lives in a holler in Eastern Kentucky. They're not going to be quite as familiar with that term as we are in Eastern Kentucky. Now, if that doesn't really seem to resonate with you, you might also think about how cultures apply to groups and organizations. And in this case, sometimes we refer to people in these categories within a subculture. So if you are an athlete, a cheerleader, certain academic majors like a chemistry major. I use magic as in the card game, or Dungeons and Dragons is another example of subculture. If you're a gamer, like a video game player, a Star Trek fan, Trekkies, these are just examples. These aren't all inclusive here. Computer technicians, any particular group or um, particular category that you follow very carefully that you can be an expert in, that impacts your culture and that is a subculture. Now, finally, understand your purpose. When people belong to a close-knit group, whether it be professional, a club, even a sports team, they have their own language or way of speaking, their own traditions, and their own processes. So in at least 5 paragraphs, 2 to 3 pages, write an essay explaining the traditions, beliefs, and customs of your own particular group. Assume that your audience is not familiar with your culture, define terms when relevant, and give examples. And so that is, you are allowed to kind of choose which aspect of your culture you want to focus upon. Now, you do need to, when you're drafting your actual essay, follow MLA standards of formatting. Create a strong thesis statement that defines your culture. We'll talk a little bit more about that next week when you start drafting. Make sure your grammar, spelling, punctuation, and mechanics are sound and solid. Stay focused on your culture because remember, you are the expert, so you are writing to an audience that theoretically would not be as familiar with your culture. And because that is the case, it is appropriate to use I, me, my pronouns. In fact, I really am going to look for that because I want to see a personal connection with your culture. You do not need to use outside sources or research for the essay. Everything you need should be contained within your life and your experiences. Now, I said criteria for success to see the rubric, but we're not ready to look at that yet. We'll look at that next week. So the pre-writing strategies are due this week. So you want to use your own Word document. You could put both strategies in the same Word document. So just put them together. That way you're not submitting 2 separate documents. Review the pre-writing video because remember that Dr. Weller will go through those with you and show you what they are and how they work. Spend about 10 minutes with each strategy, so about 20 minutes total to work through. And then when you get them finished and you're ready to submit, go to the submit here area in week 4. And when you get there, you'll see the due dates mentioned. Again, that'll change each semester. But from there, you can click in to add your submission. In fact, well, I'm in a student preview, so it's not going to give me the chance to do that. But when you do, you'll be able to click to add your submission. Now, what you want to do, we haven't done this yet, so this is kind of the first chance to talk about it. You want to attach your work. Please do not put your work in the actual submission box. You want to attach it so I can open it up in its original file and review it. All right, so a lot on the plate this week between looking at the thesis statement video, pre-writing, and I would encourage you to take some notes when you watch both of those videos. Once you watch them both, go back and review the assignment sheet for essay 1. And this week is just step 1 in the process, so the essay is not due this week, but you do want to get your ideas gathered with 2 separate pre-writing strategies. All right, so that's going to wrap us up. I hope you find this video helpful. If you have any questions as you're working, you're always free to email me. But I'm looking forward to seeing how the strategies go. And then next week, we'll talk a little bit more about the actual drafting of the essay. So take care and have a good rest of your week.